Good evening, Mets fans. I am the Mets head, talking all things New York Mets. With a recap of Game 8 versus the San Francisco Giants. Let me start with I am so happy that the Channel 11 PIX Mets games are being shown on Mets Fast Forward. I did not have the game recorded, but I did have Fast Forward. I was also happy to see Swaggy V in the lineup. After hitting a home run and showing some good defense in the game before, I was annoyed that Marcus Semien was starting. He just barely broke an 0 for 19 streak the night before. He's the oldest hitter on the team and he's begging for a rest. They can always bring him in for defense later, or as a pinch runner or pinch hitter. In my opinion, Beatty should have had to start at second base. With Vientos at first base, they also said that Polanco had aggravated his Achilles, so he would not be playing. And I think maybe they should sit him a few more games to stop aggravating that injury. But the Mets bats caught fire last night, starting in the first inning against Tyler Mahle. She had a 2.18 ERA for Texas last year. Lindor led off with a base hit. That's 4 out of 8 games. He's led off games with a hit or getting on base. He would go 2 for 4 with a walk and is currently batting 185, but with a 421 on base percentage. That's more important for a leadoff hitter. I have to say, and I will say it every time I see it, I do not like Soto batting second. I think it allows the opposing team to take advantage of the two of them back to back versus left hand pitching, which they are both significantly worse against. I think it also kills Lindor's running game. Either he doesn't want to run, but that doesn't seem to make sense to me, or they tell him not to run for fear that they may walk Soto. I mean, that doesn't really matter in the first inning, but they could pitch around him and let him walk to set up the double play. I think it is an issue because we cannot manufacture runs. Also, Soto hits into a lot of double plays. Even the announcer said that Lindor should run. We are playing base to base and not utilizing our speed, which we have a lot of. In my opinion, Bo Bichette should be moved up to number 2. I think that would protect Lindor and Soto a bit from left-handed pitching, but also give Lindor a chance to run. As I say that, Juan Soto hit one right through the first base hole. But, like I was saying, Lindor only got to second base. We need to get 2 hits to drive in Lindor from first. With that hit, Soto raised his average up to 355 with a 412 on base percentage. Surprisingly, he only has 3 walks this year. He's being very aggressive in his at-bats, swinging at a lot more pitches than usual. Bichette gets a hard hit to right center field, knocking in Lindor from second, and advancing Soto to third. Bo's bat seems to be waking up. He went 3 for 5 in this game, raising his average to 194. Robert followed up with his 8th walk of the year, which is amazing because the most he's ever had one season is 30. And with the bases loaded with nobody out, Beatty, who has been in a funk, hits into a 1-2-3 double play. But then Vientos came up and showed he had a good eye, challenged to get a walk. And Semien then got a hard hit ball for an RBI. Then up comes Carson Bench. Why is his helmet so shiny? Apparently, Soto hurt his calf when running from first to third, and he was pulled for the game for Tyrone Taylor. Then a few innings later, Vientos singled to open up the top of the fourth, and Marcus Semien hits his first home run as a New York Met to dead center field. I guess he has awoken, but it still didn't make sense to start him. But I will eat my words for today. He went 3 for 5 with a home run and 3 RBIs, bringing up his average to 214. Mendy will probably bench him tomorrow. But I feel like he should sit more, just like the sitting Robert, but not until he cools off. And then Alvarez hit a bomb to dead center field, and I think both of those home runs would have been in the apple if they were hitting Queens. But Alvarez is playing well. He needs to be moved up. But now with Robert and Semien both hitting, it's going to be hard to move him up ahead of them. Also, can Tanzio learn how to say Semien's name? It's Marcus Semien, not Simeon. Nolan McLean pitched great for the first few innings. He retired the first 15 batters he faced. And then in the sixth, he seemed to lose it a bit. He walked the first 2 batters. And then gave up a double to Adames for a run. Mendoza, I think, was smart to have Raley ready to face the 2 left-handed hitters, Devers and Arise. Really, they're 2 best hitters. Devers looked very uncomfortable and struck out. Then a pass ball scored their second run, and Raley got Arias to ground out. That could have been a bigger inning with those 2 guys up. Then in the 7th, Alvarez led off with another home run, this time to left field. He went 2 for 5 with 2 Soto home runs for 2 RBIs. He raised his average up to 286 with a 375 on base percentage and a 1.137 OPS. He definitely should be moved up ahead of Semien. Semien should be moved down. And they weren't done yet. Lindor walked, and then Bichette got a double, and Robert singled. Robert went 1 for 3 with 2 walks, and he's now batting 280 with a 455 on base percentage and an 855 OPS. He was followed by Vientos getting a single to knock in Bichette. Vientos went 2 for 3 with 2 walks and is now batting 417. He got on base 4 times in that game, which was the 3rd time in his career he's done that. I thought Brazoban was rightly brought in for the 7th. He only gave up 1 hit, but he did throw 26 pitches. I think maybe I would have had him start the 8th inning to face the 3 right-hand hitters before Devers and Arise and get LL, Lovelady, ready to face those 2. But Mendoza decided to bring Lovelady in right in the 7th. And he faced the 3 right-hand hitters. He gave up a double and a walk to Adames. She did not look good at all against those right-hand hitters. But he struck out an uncomfortable-looking Devers. And then Arise singled, and then Chapman grounded out. Arise now is batting 409 against the Mets in his career. with a 451 on base percentage and a 978 OPS. I was glad to see Lovelady brought in against Devers in the rise. I think they should use Lovelady as much as possible versus those left-hand hitters because he will be the odd man out when AJ Minter comes back. And I thought it was good to use Luis Garcia in the ninth with our team up by 7 runs. Rest our better pitchers for closer games. But San Francisco only had 5 hits and 3 walks. Their best was Helio Ramos, went 2 for 4. Every Giant in the lineup is batting 250 or under, except for Arise, who's batting 313. And 4 of those hitters are batting under 200. Patrick Bailey is batting 95, 095. I'm surprised they didn't play Swisak after he went 3 for 3. But all of his hits were against left-hand pitchers. Again, there's that running joke. Hung Lee has a helmet too big for his head. It's always falling off when he's swinging. I even remember this last year. I don't know how far that's gone back, but that guy needs a bigger helmet. So let's see if the bats stay hot tonight. Soto will likely sit, which will move Bo up to number 2. And I hope maybe that will keep him there. I assume Polanco will sit too. I think they really should play Young in left field. I really wouldn't want to start Taylor, who doesn't have a hit yet this year. And tonight, Clay Holmes goes against Layden Rook, who hasn't given up a run yet this year. Until then, I'm one gone.